Hey everyone, my name is Ross Gray.
And I'm Ryan Bourne.
And this is the Social Skim brought to you by Cloud Campaign. Cloud Campaign is the easiest way to manage social media. So this week in social media, obviously the top story, the one everyone's talking about, is that Facebook lost 120 billion in market value.
Yeah, I saw this one happening live. I was watching it on my phone and in the Robinhood app and after hours. I think it was on Friday, right? After hours or Thursday after hours.
It was Wednesday after hours and then trading all day Thursday. So in one day, Facebook lost 120 billion or about 19% of its total value, which also means that Mark Zuckerberg lost around 17 billion.
It's pretty rough. I feel a little bit bad for Mark over the past probably quarter or 2 quarters. It's been a rough ride for Facebook. I think he's seen this coming. It probably wasn't too surprising for him to see this big of a drop in the market share. I just imagine that they're reallocating a lot of resources towards kind of nurturing users and, just improving the platform. And that typically does not show well on paper.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's worth noting, though, that it wasn't necessarily the earnings report directly that attributed to this massive decline. I mean, they did grow substantially over last year. It wasn't until their CFO released that statement, which said, our total revenue growth rates will continue to decelerate in the second half of 2018. And we expect our revenue growth rates to decline by high single-digit percentages from prior quarters sequentially in both quarters 3 and 4. So it was really when he released this statement that it just went off a cliff.
Interesting. So was it the gross revenue or net revenue that he was talking about declining over the next couple quarters? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume it would be gross because I'm assuming it would be net considering that they are allocating a lot more resources now. I think Mark Zuckerberg said they were going to hire like 20,000 new employees just to help fight fake news and, like you said, nurture their current users.
Yeah, and like you mentioned a couple weeks ago, the acquisition of Bloomsbury AI, which is, another pretty big investment for Facebook, and they're definitely spending a lot of time and money focusing on just building a better community. And yeah, I mean, that doesn't really help your net income, your net revenue, just because it's not cheap to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this had an impact on their competitors as well. Twitter in the course of 2 days saw a 24.2% drop. Granted, they went up 90-something% last year. And Snapchat just today is down 4%.
Wow. Not a great day for social media, I guess.
No, definitely it's had an impact on the whole social sphere here. So the next story is that Facebook is adding ads to their stories, similar to what Instagram has already been doing.
Yeah, I think most marketers probably saw this coming just because it was already on Instagram. And I feel like you can get pretty good results for not spending too much money with Instagram video ads within the stories. So hopefully we can see similar results on Facebook.
Yeah, they said that currently they have 150 million users who use the stories on a day-to-day basis. This is significantly less than Instagram. However, I agree that it's another good avenue for marketers.
Mm-hmm. And I know like a lot of people are cross-posting stories between Instagram and Facebook. So I'd imagine the user base in terms of Facebook stories will probably grow over the coming months, just as more people are starting to publish cross-platform. And that's just another opportunity for marketers to captively engage their audience.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing Facebook did this week is release what they call Watch Party. And this seems like it was a no-brainer, and I'm surprised they didn't add it previously. And that is that they're making pre-recorded videos. So you can watch pre-recorded videos in a more communal sense. So very similar to how you watch live videos now and you can interact and talk with each other. They're doing that for pre-recorded videos in, group chats.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It almost seems similar to, Instagram recently added the group chat functionality, group video chat, where you could do something similar where you could also like just scroll the feed and kind of look at content together on Instagram. So it seems like a similar play that Facebook is doing.
Yeah. I'm excited to use it. I mean, there's a lot of people who are watching a lot of shows, and it, makes it more fun if you can discuss what's going on with your, your friends and whoever else.
Yeah, it makes it more interactive. It's kind of like a two-way street then, rather than just consuming content, you're able to somewhat interact with it by watching it together. And
Yeah.
I know Facebook is working on a hardware product right now called Aloha, which is like similar to like the Amazon Show, where it's like a interactive assistant, but it also has like a video screen, so you can do like video chats directly on it. It's something that they haven't released yet, but they've been talking about it for like over a year now. But I feel like this is maybe like initial showings of what the software will look like for the Aloha product, allowing people to video chat, but then also interact with media through the platform.
Interesting. Yeah. And our next story is that Instagram is testing follower removal. So this is really only applicable to brands because if you have a private profile, you've already been able to do this anyway. But it's basically allowing you to just remove followers from your public profile. It's worth noting that the information is still going to be out there. It is public, but it just makes it a little more of a pain to actually get to it.
Okay. Do you think it's sort of for like content moderation, like keeping maybe spamming people off your account or people who are posting negative comments on your pictures and stuff?
I would assume so. There's always the ever talked about trolls, the online trolls who sit there and just want to make it, hell for marketers, and really have maybe not even engaged with the product before. And so I think this just makes it easier for brands to not have to deal with them.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And they also are testing region restrictions. So if you are, the example that I read from TechCrunch is that if you're Coca-Cola and you want to run an ad and maybe make it really specific to a certain location, you can do that now. You can limit access to by certain regions.
That's something that they had before though, no? Or is that completely new?
As far as I know, it was new. I mean, it's not necessarily an ad, so maybe I shouldn't have said ad. It's in like an organic post.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some more organic post targeting, which is super useful for franchises or multinational brands because a lot of times the messaging is different across countries. So it's really cool that they're adding that support.
Yeah. So only a few stories here left, and one of them is that LinkedIn is rolling out voice clips, which I think this is a great idea. I'm surprised they didn't have it before, and that is that they are allowing you to record audio clips within messages. So if you want to send even LinkedIn mail or in mail, I should say, now you can record a message to go along with your text message.
Oh, that's cool. It seems like it's sort of expanding on the story that you talked about last week where you could attach different media types or different like files and attachments. So now they're just kind of adding native support for audio. So I'm guessing you can play it within the LinkedIn Messenger.
Yeah, I guess they've seen really massive growth. And I don't have an actual statistical number to put on this, but they've seen massive growth, not only in the platform, but in their messaging usage. And so they're really trying to take advantage of that and make it a better experience for the people who are, onboarding the platform.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to try it out. It seems like it would be a really useful feature.
Yeah. Another story is that Snapchat is launching what they call storytellers. And this is a way for brands to, collaborate with maybe Snapchat influencers in an easier way.
So how does that look for a brand, I guess? Say you have an influencer that you want to work with. Like, what does that process look like?
So I think it was last December that they instituted, what did they call it? It was like Snapchat, I have it on here. It was like their content collaboration, or it was the official stories. I'm sorry. So Snapchat did official stories for celebrities, and I believe this was last December. And then in February, they built this whole in-depth insights tab for, whoever these influencers were. And so now what it's going to be is kind of a platform where brands can go on there and they can see all of the influencers and their stats, I think, as well. And they can go on there, they can choose which ones they want to partner with, and then they can work it out. And now when these people post out these Snapchat stories that are seen by, maybe millions, if not tens of millions, they can be, maybe it's some content that was collaborated with a brand just to give them better exposure.
Okay, very cool. So it sounds like they're adding a lot of transparency for brands in terms of like seeing, the actual reach and kind of the clout that the influencer has, right? Which seems super useful because that's kind of been the topic of 2018 is, who's actually on social media, and are influencers actually, do they actually have an influence on social media, right? Are they just being followed by bots, or are there actual people that are interacting with them, and is your brand going to actually get exposure through it? So it sounds like Snapchat's natively adding that kind of support, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that they want to build their revenue streams. I know that's something that they've been consistently struggling with, and this is another way for them to do that. But back to your point, Twitter is actually saw a drop off as well in monthly active users, and this could be why Twitter saw its stock go down by 24 point something percent, as we mentioned earlier. To me, this seems odd. I don't know that this precipitous drop is warranted, because the reason that their followers went down by such substantial numbers is because they're trying to clean up their platform. They want to bring back some integrity to their metrics, and so they cleared off all of those bots and spammy profiles. So of course you're going to see some drop off.
Yeah, it's always hard. I mean, just thinking like people might not be aware like that there is this Twitter purge going on where they're removing spammy profiles or bots from the platform. They just see a substantial drop in active users and just assume that Twitter is having issues, but in reality they're trying to make the platform a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, their share value went from around $44 down to $34. We'll see how that rebounds as people get more information about it. But yeah, that's it for this week. Tune in every Tuesday for the most up-to-date social media news. Find us on iTunes and wherever else podcasts live.
And be sure to head over to iTunes, leave us a quick review, whether you like the show or not. It helps us improve it each week. So please head on over there and drop us a review.
Thanks.
This show is brought to you by Cloud Campaign, commentary by Ross Gray and Ryan Bourne, original music produced by Daniel Rosenfeld, and extended version composed by Discovered. See you next week for another episode of The Social Skim.